There we
Am
go.
I able to hear
I
you
bet
guys?
it would help if we turned our volume up, wouldn't it? You
There you
guys couldn't
go.
hear us. Rookie mistake there, as this is our first show that we're doing here live from the studio. But Coach Anderson is joining us here. Darrin Douglas, you saw here with me as well, Coach, and just want to say congratulations to you and your team on making the state tournament. But more importantly, right now, you guys are celebrating your 11th region championship with a big win over Scott County.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for the sentiments. Darrin, how are you tonight?
Pretty good,
Good to
Les. How
see a
you?
fellow in there. We're riding a high right now. I mean, it's really difficult to describe, the feelings, the emotions that the kids and our community has gone through here in the last pretty much week. Got to give the kids credit. They really have buckled down. We've had several incredible practices, and they are ready to roll. I can't wait to get started tomorrow.
You guys are going to be taking on. It looks like Notre Dame. They're 22-11 on the season. What do you know about Notre Dame?
Hey, we've got Mercy in the first round.
Oh, is it Mercy?
Mercy Academy. We played Mercy earlier this year, about mid-April. And Mercy is a perennial powerhouse in Kentucky softball. They're led by Lexi Ray, who is committed to the University of Tennessee Martin. She's an outstanding pitcher, throws in the high 50s to low 60s. Got a great rise ball, good curveball. Number 26, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember her name, but she hits in the four-hole for him. That kid can absolutely stroke. She when we played him in mid-April, she raked it the entire game, and so we'll be prepared for her. Going to be a good game. We're always ready. They're well coached. Greg Miners and I have coached against each other for 10 to 15 years. I know him very well, and I know they're going to be ready. Would have been nice to have gotten a slightly easier game in the first round, but honestly, if you're you got to beat them all to win it anyway. And so
Les, this is Darrin, and we were talking the other night. You're one of your assistant coaches now. We're Fred Powers, and
ready baseball,
huh?
Ready
baseball.
baseball.
Be a big crowd there, and evidently there was an absolute humongous crowd there that night for the game with Scott County, and it created an environment I think that will be beneficial to your ball club going down to Owensboro, because they've been in big ball games throughout the year. Of course, you went to Alabama and actually finished second in the tournament down there, I believe, but you beat the number 2, I believe, and number 4 team in the state of Alabama, and then you lost to the number 1 team, which is actually number 2 in the country, correct?
That's correct. We when one of the things, when I took over last year and I sat down with the girls, we wanted to make sure that we didn't leave any stone unturned, and so we wanted to ramp up our work schedule. We wanted to increase the intensity of our practices. Darrin, we wanted to increase the intensity of our schedule. Mm-hmm. And we made a phenomenal schedule. And actually, if Mother Nature wouldn't have played with us just a little bit there around the 1st of May, we would have played all of the top 10 teams in the state of Kentucky. We played the number 2 team out of Ohio. We played 1, 2, and 4 out of Alabama. We played number 1 in Kentucky 3 times. We played 5, 6, 7, and 20 back to back to back to back to back. And so we have a very tested squad. Both groups, and I kind of have 2 big groups of kids. I have an upper class that had played together for quite a while, and then a set of freshmen that have played together for quite a while. Both groups have played really high-level travel ball. Both actually been involved with legit national championships just last summer, and so our squad is tempered with steel. I mean, we have really been tested, and they're ready. They're absolutely ready.
Talking about that schedule, I mean, there were several teams that you were going to see early in the year, and we knew, going into the year just by looking at your schedule, how tough it was going to be in the early part. You knocked off a perennial power down the western part of the state in Christian County. That had to be one of the biggest wins for this program in quite a while. Then you went, like you said, you lost 2 of 3 this year to Scott County, but you talk about the pitcher for Mercy. You got a pretty good one too. She's committed to the University of Kentucky and Bethany Todd.
Yeah, we're blessed to have 2 senior leaders in the circle. Bethany committed to the University of Kentucky 2 years ago. She's powerful. She's tall. She's extremely athletic. I was telling William earlier, I mean, Bethany just has a will to win that just exceeds most athletes. I mean, she wants to win every pitch, every single at bat, every single game, and she has an incredible drive, and that drive is what's gonna push her and allow her to when she gets to UK to absolutely dominate up there, and I expect her to. Our other pitcher, Caitlin Cairo. I mean, these 2 kids, it's just really hard to describe the kind of they bring on a day-to-day basis for our team and for really our whole community. Both of them busted. I mean, those kids just busted. They do everything they have for the last 8 years. They've gone to pitching lessons, they've gone to camps, they've done everything, and Caitlin has worked just as hard as Bethany. She's committed to the University of Tennessee Martin, really, the top 2-3 OVC programs, and she will do extremely well there. She throws in the low to mid 60s. She's got a lot of spin on the ball, and she's just a tough competitor too. And when you're good in the circle in our game, you got a shot. And we're not just good in the circle; we're great. And it gives us an excellent opportunity to move forward in this and to do well in the tournament this week.
Coach, when we first started out there, I said Notre Dame, and I do apologize about that. I was looking at Boyle County because I was thinking Boyle County with Coach Wynn going to join us here in a little while as well to talk about the baseball. He could probably talk about the Boyle County Rebels because they've all are also in the girls' state tournament there as well. But talk to me about your preparation going into leaving tomorrow and getting there, and how does your schedule look?
Well, we'll pull out. Our school was kind enough to get us a charter bus, and so we'll pull out of Woodford County High School tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll cruise into Owensboro and get us a quick bite. And John Biggs over at Davis County was gracious enough to allow us to use his indoor hitting facility in the field there at Davis County High School. And so right after lunch, we'll go get some work in, head back to the hotel, freshen up a little bit, head over to Jack Fisher at about 5:30, check in, and finish our preparation. And then the game against Mercy starts at 7 o'clock Central Time. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great matchup.
Go ahead, Darrin.
Yeah, Coach. Let's look at your roster again. We talk about those seniors. I believe you got 6 seniors, and they all have committed to play somewhere collegiately. Am I correct?
We got 5, Darrin, and 4 of the 5 are going to play. We have 3 that are committed to Division I programs. Ariel Daly is another senior that is going to play, continue her softball career. She'll be at Louisiana Tech. For any old-time softball guys, Coach Mark Montgomery from Lexington, who used to coach at Lafayette and Georgetown College. He's the head coach at Louisiana Lafayette, or at La Tech, and he's just doing a phenomenal job down there. He comes up to Central Kentucky to look at talent every winter, and he'll actually come back up this summer in a little camp that we have. And he identified Ariel out of one of our camps and offered her a scholarship to play at Louisiana Tech. Kyla Simpson is committed to play at Pikeville. Fantastic player. She'll start immediately when she gets there, and she'll absolutely just dominate. I mean, the kid can play multiple positions, can really rake, and she'll do well at Pikeville. Marley Maristani is our 5th senior. She's actually going to move on in life, move away from softball and really focus on her academics at Eastern Kentucky University. Marley is a fantastic kid, and just, you know, I was really blessed with great leaders in this senior class, and Marley is one of those. She's just kind of that steady rock player person that we have on the team that provides us with just that. It's kind of hard to describe everything that she brings, but Marley does a fantastic job for us and keeps our enthusiasm up, kind of keeps everybody bonded together, because, you know, athletes playing all individually doesn't get you very far, Darrin, but if you can bring all those athletes together and actually form a team, you got a shot. And Marley is very important for us in that regard.
Well, the neat thing about this team is you got those 5 seniors that are leaders, and they've been through the ringer before as far as playing top flight competition at the high school level as well as travel ball. But talk about, I mean, you got some girls that are juniors and sophomores as well. But talk about that freshman class, because you want to talk about athletically gifted. That freshman class you have there at Woodford County is very gifted. They play softball and they play basketball, and there's some that do other sports other than basketball on top of their softball. So, but they have a state championship to their credit as 8th graders last year at the middle school level.
Yeah, their freshman class is special, Darrin. I mean, You've seen them on the court. There's a lot of things you can coach. Some things you can't. And those kids have some of those things that you just can't coach. Abby Moffitt, I mean, the kid is just flat an athlete. You know Jeff, her dad, Heather, her mom. I mean,
Mom's a pretty good athlete.
Jeff was one of the best athletes in Woodford County history, and Abby is on. I mean, she's on that same path, Darrin. I mean, the kid she's just gifted. You know, she just has a natural ability to put the barrel on the ball. She moves with a grace and a fluidity that's just. I mean, she's just an athlete. And Delaney Enlow. I mean, you know, Delaney was an all-region basketball awardee as well. Delaney is 6'1", strong as an ox, and that she doesn't really a ton of credit for on the athletic. The kid is brilliant. You know, she's going to get. I'm sure she'll be in the low to mid 30s on her ACT. You know, I get to see her grades every week, and if she gets below a 97%, it's amazing. And she, I mean, the world is her oyster. She has an incredible amount of talent, and she also has a work ethic to get there. Kelsey Coleman, she doesn't play basketball. She's softball oriented, but you'll see, Darrin, if you get to come down to the tournament, you'll see her mash. I mean, the kid, when she's turned on, and right now she is absolutely on her game. She's going to come out of this tournament hitting somewhere in the 400 to 500 range. I'll bet you a dime to a dollar right now that gets at least 2 dingers and 3 or 4 doubles, and she's going to be a huge reason, why we move forward. Casey Abel, I think you know Casey. Casey's another one of the freshmen that plays basketball. Casey is our speed demon in that group. Kid can fly. She's an incredible base runner. We last year, this is her first full year from the left. We moved her over to the left to take advantage of some of her speed attributes. And she's Well, in region, going into Scott County games, she was 5 for 5. You know, and absolutely getting her done. Moving runners for us, barreling it up, moving and scoring, and she was a big part of why we moved on in region. One thing too to kind of give Casey some props on. Paige Hampton, one of our junior starters, who's a fantastic catcher, got thumbed in the game down at South Warren. She took a ball a little oddly off from Bethany, and hyperextended her thumb. And Casey jumped right in and just done a phenomenal job behind the plate for us. And it is, you know, if she doesn't have the performances she had in district and region behind the plate, there's no way we get to the Scott County game and have a chance to win that. And so Casey is pretty special too. And Kaylee Poe is a freshman that actually blends right in with her athleticism with the other kids. She's been injured quite a bit this year and hadn't seen as much playing time as the other girls, but she's going to. Kids got real potential moving forward. So the really cool thing, Darrin, is we got several 8th graders that can play. I got a 7th grade class that is absolutely flat out loaded with talent.
I've heard stories about that already.
I was going to say, Coach, your team's pretty young as it is right now, but you got talent that's going to last you for years over there.
There's a girl in middle school, right? She just finished 7th grade. She'll be 8th grade coming up. That UK is already looking at.
Wow!
I mean, the kid's talented, man, and you know, I can't wait to get a chance to coach those athletes, because that's what kind of scheming you do. If you don't have players, you're not going to do much as a coach, brother. And that's one thing I've been blessed with this year, and I hope I'm blessed with in the future here is great players.
We got the bracket here, Darrin, and let's just go down that real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more with Coach, and then we'll switch over to baseball. But
I'll talk either one.
And this is not in the order that they play, by the way. This is just going straight down the bracket the way that it's on the website there. So North Laurel at 27-6 will take on Leslie County at 19-10 on the season, and you got a team that's always, since they combined the schools down.
Yeah, for like 3 of them down there.
Yeah, I think it was Heath High School.
Heath,
Lone Oak,
and there was one other. I can't remember the other one. Do you remember the other one, Coach? Reedland, that's it.
Okay, yeah. So McCracken County becomes a super school, kind of like Coach Kyle Wynn. Whenever we get him on here in just a little bit, it looks like he's rocking the baby there now. But that's a cute little baby right there too, man. I know exactly how you feel, Coach. I mean, they change your life. But so McCracken County is kind of like Mercer County, is what I was getting to. Mercer County joined, where you had the 2 schools, and then now that they're all of a sudden just really good in everything.
McCracken County schools have thrown a lot of money into their athletic facilities.
Yeah.
So they got an indoor facility for football, basketball, baseball, and softball that's second to none. I mean, it's almost a college facility. It's just really nice.
I think the thing that I miss the most is the Lone Oak logo. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the purple flash.
Yeah.
It was a lightning
Do you
bolt.
miss that, Coach?
Yeah.
They had high
Whenever you
offense on the football side of things too.
Yeah, so
back in the day when
McCracken and Male, McCracken County 29-8 on the season. They played a team that you just beat, but Scott County last year, and Scott County ended up winning that in the championship. Am I right, Coach?
Yeah, Scott. McCracken actually lost right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. I think it was North Laurel.
Got down in the losers bracket.
Yeah. Wasn't it North Laurel that Scott County beat in the championship, Coach?
No, it was McCracken.
McCracken. Okay.
It was McCracken last year.
Yeah.
McCracken lost in the first round. We dropped down in the losers bracket, came all the way back, beat Scott County in the first game, had to go to the if-then game, and then Scott County beat the if-then game.
Oof. Yeah. That's tough to do.
So
And then we
And McCracken's the only program in the state last year that could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
then we got they're playing Mel at 25-4, and then Central Hardin at 31-8 on the season playing South Warren that's 32-3. The news about Central Hardin is their head coach, Coach Goodman, just got career win number 200.
Yeah, that's a good athletic program down there too as well. Down there in Hardin County, and
Right.
it's actually not in Elizabethtown. Everybody thinks it is, but it's in a little suburb called Cecilia.
Mm-hmm. They've got a few schools over in Elizabethtown though around
They got,
that area.
They got John Hardin,
John
they have
Hardin.
North Hardin, they have Central Hardin, E-Town.
You were talking about softball facilities. E-Town's got good softball facilities, good soccer facilities there as well. If you're in the soccer, but it seems like E-Town and Bowling Green's got some really nice facilities softball wise.
Yeah, the new sportsplex there in E-Town is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Collins is going to be taking on East Carter. Collins is coming in at 28-9 on the season. East Carter 33-3 on the season.
Another good mountain program.
Yeah, and then you got the home team there, Owensboro Catholic, at 23-11 on the season, taking on Harrison County 24-11. Boyle County, they left out in a hurry today. I saw the tweet, and that bus looked like it was on its way. But they are 27-13 on the season under Coach Brian Deem, who's also the head girls soccer coach over at Boyle County, if I'm not mistaken. Just nod your head if I'm right, Coach Wynn. Yep, he says so. I was thinking because they had this big rivalry thing with West Jessamine going on and in soccer. So
But don't leave Woodford out of that West Jessamine rivalry. That's one of the biggest ones in this area.
Notre Dame and Boyle County will match up there. Notre Dame coming in at 22-11. Notre Dame Pandas out of Northern Kentucky.
Right across the road from Covington Catholic High School.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of schools right off.
Yeah, but it's right across the road. It's the sister school to the boys' school, which is Cov Cath.
You can go to New Cath, look out, and you'll see
Newport,
20 other high schools. It seems like
you will.
Yeah,
you can literally see all those high schools in the distance.
That's why the houses sit on top of each other. You have no yard.
Yeah. Woodford County and Mercer County, we covered that. Coach.
That's at 8 o'clock Eastern time for folks that have just joined us. It's 7 o'clock Central time, which would be Owensboro time. 8 o'clock right here in Central Kentucky.
Yep. And Pikeville taking on Madisonville North Hopkins. Pikeville 30-6 on the season. Madisonville North Hopkins 33-5 on the season.
Now, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. By just counting it, I think you played 12 of the 16 teams that are in there. So you played 12 of the 15.
We played most of them.
Yeah,
and we had
off Mail.
We
knocked off Mercy.
We had Madisonville North Hopkins on the schedule and got rained out. But we played a lot of them. Yep.
Played Owensboro Catholic too, if I'm not mistaken.
We were supposed to, but it got rained out as well.
Mother Nature
Central Hardin
this spring.
Well, really, it was that 1 week we lost 8 games that 1 week. We were supposed to play Owensboro Catholic, Central Hardin, Bullitt East. Let's see, another top 10
spring break?
club. Yeah, it was the first week of May. Yeah.
I want to thank Bluegrass Orthopedics. They are our sponsor here on our network, and this is officially going to be called the BGO Studio here at PrepSpin. So I want to thank them. Also, White Greer and Maggard, want to mention them. They are our title sponsor along the whole network, which is all of PrepSpin and everything that we do. So those two fun sponsors, and then of course Mingy Beef Jerky. You might have saw the graphic up before the show started. Mingy Beef Jerky. They've got I think 5 flavors now.
5 or 6.
We get it in. They tell us to give it out to coaches for a win, but sometimes it just don't make it to the coaches.
Not with our crew. Our crew's a little dangerous when that beef jerky comes around.
All right, so the girls' softball tournament is set right now. Coach Les Anderson of Woodford County joining us. He's there on the right. Darrin Douglas in the middle. William Warfield here with you. I'm on the left-hand side of your screen. And we're talking up the state softball tournament. Darrin, I guess you and I, because you're obviously a Woodford County guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like Boyle County in this thing too. So it's kind of as a coin toss. I like to see either one of those two teams, one of those two programs win. Coach, I know you obviously favor your team, but what do you see out of this bracket, and what are some of the expected matchups? Would you even speculate on that?
Sure. The Mayo McCracken matchup in the first round is rough.
Yeah.
I mean, you got top 2, 3. I mean, both those teams are ranked in the top 5 at the end of the year. Both of them very well coached and just loaded with athletes. That is going to be. I mean, that's a tough way, to get down in that losers bracket for either team in that first game. Madisonville North Hopkins, just below us. Um, Good program, and that they're going to be a tough out for anybody. East Carter's got Montana Fouts. Montana is a University of Alabama graduate, and is solid in the circle. We'll last year their first trip to state, they took it on the chin early, and then came back and played several tight games as the tournament progressed. So, they'll probably use that. I'm sure they'll use that experience to help them to navigate the early part of the tournament a little better this year. Then Woodford, I think we'll do okay. I think we'll do okay. I think
Coach speak. Les, I know one thing that like I said, we talked about that senior class and that freshman class. Experience will play a big factor in the fact that even though your team has only been there as a school one time, and that was about 10 years ago, but if somebody says you have experience with those upperclassmen, they're going to calm people down because they've been there, done a lot of different things. But then you got the youthful exuberance of those freshmen that a lot of people don't like the fact that some of us broadcasters say they're too young and too dumb to know the big moment that they're in. But I think this freshman class, they're not dumb, and they're talented, and they know exactly what they're in.
I agree with you, Darrin. They're ready to go. I wish you guys could come out to practice tonight. We hit a million dingers, and I don't, I try to throw game like BP to them, and I wasn't throwing taters, man. And they were ready. And this group is ready to roll. Got to get there. Got to be relaxed. Got to catch a couple breaks. Just like in every other ball game and every other sport. But as far as preparation, they're prepared. As far as concentration and focus, they're ready to roll. They're ready.
All right, Coach. Well, we'll leave it at that. We're going to switch gears over to baseball. Get Coach Kyle Wynn on here in just a second. We're going to step out just for a quick break, Kyle, and then when we come back, we'll have Boyle County's head baseball coach joining us here live on the network tonight with Talking Sports with William Warfield and my good friend Darrin Douglas here tonight. And Coach Les Anderson, congratulations on a great season. That Scott County win, that was epic, man. That was huge. And we know you
that was one thing I didn't get to address, Darrin, that you asked before about the crowd. We had an unbelievable crowd. Woodford has waited for that moment for the last 5 years, right? I mean, they put us out of region for the 5 years and then region championship 3 years in a row. And we had a huge crowd, and everybody was anticipating, hoping, waiting for us to catch that break and then be able to close it out. And it was a seminal moment for us. It was a great moment for our softball community, and it's been a buzz ever since. So we enjoyed that win. It's a great program over at Scott County, loaded with great players, and it was a huge win for us.
Coach, take your laptop with you. We might get you on during the week, possibly.
There you go.
We'd love to keep up to date with you and your team.
I guarantee you, I'll have it with me.
All right. Sounds good. Well,
Thanks, guys.
Coach Les Anderson and Woodford County Lady Yellow Jack. Should we call them Lady Yellow Jacket or just Yellow Jackets?
I think you just call them Yellow
baby.
Jackets right now because this team is playing about as well as any team in the state. And they're, we might want to mention too that Scott County Woodford County matchup last week in the regional was number 1 versus number 2, not only in the region but in the state.
In the state, yeah.
So that's pretty, and that dictated by the crowd there.
You got 1 versus 2 in the opening round of baseball, too. We'll talk about
we
that
will.
coming up here in just a little bit. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem, Coach.
Take a little walk with me. I'll keep you in good company and be there for you to the end. You'll never be alone, my friend.
Hi, this is Gary Ball for Crown Trophy of Lexington. Crown Trophy offers youth sports awards, corporate awards. They offer signs and a full line of promotional products. They're located at 2680 Wilhite Drive on the corner of Nicholasville, New Circle Road, just behind Starbucks. Stop by and pick up your copy of our 85-page catalog. Crown Trophy is nationally known, but locally owned with 150 stores nationwide. Crown Trophy, the official provider of plaques for the Scholastic Ball Report and PrepSpin.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
We are back here live, and Coach Kyle Wynn of Boyle County joining us. Hold on just 1 second. Kyle is turn up your microphone here. There we go. All right. Coach, congratulations on your great season as well as we switch gear to baseball here. Real quick, though, just what can you tell us about Coach Brian Deem's softball team that made it to state?
Yeah, pretty cool for both of us, actually. We were following each other. Unfortunately, we played at separate locations, which is pretty common, but we played every game pretty much at the same time. So it was back and forth, texting each other, texting the fans, announcing scores at the other place, and then, crowds erupting, just happy for our school in general. So the girls are playing well at the right time, and you're right, they took off this morning, and there's a lot of excitement around their team. So I'm excited. Unfortunately, we're playing at the same time again on Thursday as them, so we'll kind of have to follow each other. But we're excited, and I think they're going to make some noise down there in Owensboro.
Well, sorry to keep you waiting. I know that you got your hands full there.
Okay.
Luckily, the wife is here and taking care of our little one. But man, I tell you what, ain't nothing better than being a dad, is it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. He was a month old yesterday, and his first baseball game was the 12th Region Championship game last week. So
awesome.
There's nothing better right now. So.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on that as well, being a new father.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this baseball bracket here, and then we'll dig deep into your team. You're also the athletic director at Boyle County High School as well, so you got a lot of stuff on your plate over there.
Sure. Yeah, I wear a couple different hats at the high school, and but I've come to enjoy obviously coaching the baseball team, but just like you said, it's pretty neat with our softball team. I've gotten to know a lot of the student athletes at Boyle who are incredible young men and women in all different sports, and it's been pretty neat. Like I said, cheering on softball, track. The girls won another state title. Our tennis team. It's a pretty neat time in the spring at Boyle County, and it's great to be the athletic director and get to see the kids enjoying those championships.
We got, and it looks like here, I'll just go down the bracket, but we got Simon Kenton taking on George Rogers Clark. Simon Kenton, they come into the ballgame 24-15 on the season. George Rogers Clark, which is Clark County.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the people, it's referred to Clark County in some sports and GRC in other ones. So whatever you want to call it there.
Officially, this George Rogers Clark.
All right, so they're 23-9 on the season. Coach Matt Ginner over there out of the 10th region doing an outstanding job this year with that ball club. And then you got Muhlenberg County taking on Rowland County. Rowland County had some news today too that wasn't good for the head coach. Are you friends with him, Coach Wynn?
Actually, met him for the first time. We played him in a round robin up at Mercer County, and was an awesome guy. I mean, you could tell from the first time when they were in the third base dugouts with me coaching third, we had some small talk throughout the whole game, and I could just tell from the start he's somebody I'd like to get on the schedule in the future, just because you like playing good teams, not only, but then coaches you like, in that baseball family. And I woke up this morning and heard that awful news, and actually sent him an email this morning, and just told him that myself and the rest of the Rebels baseball family is behind him, and he's not alone in that fight. And he wrote me back just like he is, a class act, and thanked me. And the first thing he said was congrats and good luck at state. So I know he's a good person, first and foremost, but he seems like a tough guy, and I have no doubt that he's going to get through this, and we're behind him.
Hazard is going to be taking on Marion County there, and I totally agree with you, Coach. That looks kind of, that was really a surprise. I saw some videos last week of him and his team celebrating, and then to get that news today, it just chilling.
Yeah,
very sad.
He said he didn't feel right, and he got no better, and he went in to get it checked. Is the problem with that? Mm-hmm. I could speak for Coach Wynn, for us as well as broadcasters. The whole sports community is behind the Rowland County baseball program right now, just because that is a tough bit of news at any time for a high school kid to deal with.
Yeah.
Let alone they're going into their biggest tournament of probably their career so far, and your head coach is possibly not going to be there because he's maybe undergoing some treatment for a disease that is just so dreaded, mm-hmm. and everybody's touched by it at one point in time or another. But his kids look to be pretty tough mentally, because they saw some kids interviewed today, and they were just saying, hey, let's go out and play for Coach.
Yeah. Hazard's taking on Marion County. Hazard 30-8 on the season. Marion County, they are 26-6.
That one's a shock to me because it's Marion County's first ever appearance in the baseball state championships. They have had a tough sports year down mm-hmm. there at all levels, both male and female. And then this year they come out with baseball, and they come through a fairly tough region, and they pull a couple upsets off early in the tournament. And I don't know if Coach Wynn can speak for the 12th region. We've had a bunch of upsets in baseball in the postseason. Mm-hmm. It started with district play when Ballard gets knocked out, and then you get Lex Cath in the 11th region going down and things. And you got a bunch of guys being knocked off that were in the top 25 pretty much all year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question. I think that's a neat thing about the sport. People have kind of asked me, what's the other team like? Right now it doesn't matter. In postseason time, it doesn't matter. I was just talking to my best friend, best man at my wedding from college. He coaches baseball in Indiana. They had a great regular season and had a tough loss in the first round. And that's why you play the game. But I think baseball, unlike some others, is very different in that aspect that, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. But you're right. It seems like it might have been a little bit more this year than in years past.
Let me talk to you about your game here, Coach. You guys got Knox County Central. They come into the ball game. It looks like 22-12 on the season out of Region 13. Coach Mike Bright down there in Knox County Central, and then you guys are 27-11 on the season out of the 12th region. But talk to me about. Let's start with the region, and just talk to me about how that all happened there. It was a surprise to us when we saw, first off, Lincoln County in there, make it to the championship game, which I know they've been building their program down there for a while, but it was a surprise not to see, a West Jasmine or, one of the Somerset teams involved in that championship games.
Yeah, sure. We got a lot of respect for Lincoln. We've matched up with them 4 times this year.
Yeah.
And twice in the regular season, once in the district championship, and then the region championship last week. And they we just went back to talking about some upsets, but more than anything, it's who gets hot. And Lincoln was hot from the start in district play. They started scoring a ton of runs. They've had 2 good pitchers all year, and then they just kept the bats going through region, and did a nice job there. Coach T. Ellis has did a nice job, and Darrell Day in the past building that program at Lincoln.
You guys got a really young team there at Boyle County as well. I know you've got we talked about Woodford County softball program and how young they are, but you guys got a nice system in place down there, kind of the way some of the really great programs do, where you have kind of like I almost want to call it a farm system, because you start getting the kids together at an early age, and it's all in your community, and it's just something that builds upon where these kids are playing with each other every day.
Yeah, and that's something that when I first took over as head coach, we started up kind of a youth team called the Central Kentucky Sliders, and these kids have started playing with each other since then. Those kids, there were some older grades, but the first age at 8, they're now in 7th grade, which is pretty neat to see them coming up. And it's kind of a thing where you have a good class, then you kind of take off and kind of back and forth. I think we're in good shape now, where we're set up to hopefully do some things here year in and year out now.
Talk to me about the senior leadership on the team and what those guys have meant to your program.
Yeah, we're actually a small senior class with 3 guys, and they all kind of complement each other in some different fashion. And a lot of them, a couple of them lead by example. Another one, I think, shows his play on the field, and I think that's trickled down to where we have a pretty big junior class. A lot of juniors are starting for us, and they've kind of had to step into that role to help those seniors out, because the 3 seniors that we have do an awesome job, leading by example, doing the right things. But at some point, you got to have some numbers too, and those juniors have followed those 3 seniors and kind of made a good core for the team.
You mentioned your 3 seniors. We'll go ahead and get their names out there, but I think it's Evan Shields is one of them. It looks like Cameron Walker, and who am I missing here? Trevor, is it
Vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 3 seniors there. I know you got some. Like we mentioned, you got some of the younger guys that are coming up that had a great success at the middle school level as well, and I know that those guys are filling in some spots for you there as well. Matter of fact, I'll go out on a limb here, because I'm a big baseball fan, Coach, but I know you've got you've got a third baseman coming up that's what is he, a freshman this year?
Carson Thompson.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, Carson helped step in on the mound for us here lately. That whole freshman class is from top to bottom. There's 7 of them, and they're all have bright futures for us. They won that middle school state championship last year as 8th graders, and then we've got a handful of them contributing already on the varsity, and the others we know will follow just behind them here shortly. Carson is one of the freshmen starting at third base, and has pitched well. Came in relief in the district championship game for us, and then pitched a semifinal game with Region, and did a nice job for us. As a freshman, and postseason play is difficult.
What's really surprised you so far with your team?
I don't know if it's a surprise, but I think the thing, they just love being out there, and it's in a long season, especially from hitting open fields in the fall to some winter indoor batting cage work, and then now obviously having one of the longest seasons we've had in a while, and they just seem to enjoy playing baseball. And I think that's one of the keys to us. And I don't know if it's a surprise, but at some point when you're 15 to 18, you kind of maybe seeing what else is out there, maybe ready to move on to that next sport. But right now they just seem to love being out there. And I think that's attributed to our success, is just how much they love to play the game.
Coach, a lot of people will look back at different things when it gets to the postseason, And a lot of people will say good pitching beats good hitting, but you got to hit the baseball to get the good pitching as well, because if you get runs, it makes it easier on the mound for your pitching staff. But more than that, good hitting, good pitching, it's timely hitting. You got to have, when you get runners on, you got to get that 2-out hit to get somebody in. And I think over the past 5 years, we've seen that from teams that have gone on to win the state title. And two that come up to mind to me is here in Central Kentucky with Woodford in 2012 and then West Jessamine as well a couple of years ago. Timely hitting. And who in your lineup, who can you always count on getting that tough 2-out hit for you?
I think right in the middle of our order right now, I think one of our strengths is top to bottom. We've had guys that have been, had a rough day, and then the guy behind him picked him up, and in timely hitting, like you mentioned, especially in the region play. Ty Dragon in the middle of the order leads us offensively, and then Hunter Mason behind him. But we've kind of had when you have rough seasons, it's where you only have one or two guys hitting that day. We seem to have one or two that may not be doing well, but the rest of them are picking them up. And that's what we had in region play, especially like you mentioned with timely hitting. One guy, had a rough day, struck out. The next guy picked him up with a 2-out hit. And the same thing in the field. The guy made an error. Next guy make a great double play and got us out of an inning. So I think that's been the key is we've got some table setters a little bit, but I think 1 through 9 on any given day has been the leader for us.
Coach, how important is a high school baseball coach? Is it for teams, not necessarily in the area, but statewide? You got U of L and UK that are doing so well this year. Of course, they'll be playing on Friday afternoon. But you got NAIA schools like Lindsey Wilson, Georgetown, Cumberland's that have all gotten really good baseball programs and have top talent that aren't able to go maybe to Division I at those schools. So how important is it for the high school coaches that they can look at their kids and say, hey, if you don't get a Division I or Division II scholarship in the NCAA, you've got these schools that you can get a really good education at, as well as good baseball as well. And a lot of those guys have signed minor league contracts out of some of those small schools. How important is it for those schools for you as a head coach?
Oh, yeah. I think 100%, and I have it firsthand. I played Division III baseball. I was assistant coach at Center College for 6 years before coming to Boyle. So I've got a good, liberal arts, high academic type mindset. And I think it's the key is a lot of people don't understand that it's all Division I or nothing. There's good baseball being played at those lower levels, real good baseball. And if you want to continue after that, they're going to find you. You think how many scouts are out there, how many bird dogs are out there. They're at these games, and if you're talented enough, they're going to find you. So, like you said, there's good buzz around Division I baseball in the state of Kentucky right now with that super regional going on, no question. Yeah. But I think sometimes you get caught up in the hype of UK, U of L. Like I said, is great, but if I can't play there, I'm not going to play at all. When there's good baseball across the state of Kentucky, and I've seen it grow. This is my 12th year in high school or college baseball, and it's progressed every year.
I got to tell you, Coach, just from my experience going out to Grand Junction a few times, Grand Junction, Colorado, and broadcasting the JUCO World Series and seeing a lot of those JUCO teams compete out there, which they've got some of the top talent in the states, in my opinion. But that's a lot of opportunity as well that's on the plate too. And baseball's kind of unique because these kids, they've got many, many choices.
Mm-hmm. No question. Like you said, you've got NAIA, different divisions there. You've got Division I, II, and III, NCAA. You've got junior college. And, I think we're about a week away from that draft and start watching where kids come from. There'll be schools you've never heard of. Yeah. And that's back to our point, this junior college, and you've never even heard of him. He's a first-round draft pick, second-round draft pick. And I think that just goes to show you that, you don't have to play Division I baseball to get drafted to move on. And if, baseball is going to end for a lot of people sooner than they think. And I think getting out and enjoying that college experience of playing college baseball at some level is some of the best times that I know I had and I know others have.
Didn't Jacob Bodner, didn't he go directly to the draft and then end up playing minor league ball?
He went to Xavier and got drafted out of Xavier.
Okay.
He was I think 2011 grad. He was a year just before me, but I know Jacob, and obviously his mom works in the front office with me, and he's still in the minors as well. I had I think it was 2014 grad Micah Minyard was drafted in the 8th round by the Indians, so he went straight out of high school from Boyle. Jacob finished his degree at Xavier, and then they got drafted by the Royals.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about that too is you got all these levels, but there's also I think they still have tryout camps for baseball that a scout can maybe find you out of nowhere. And one name comes to mind this year. I mean, people say, well, kids from Kentucky don't play in the major leagues. I beg to differ. We had Kevin Jarvis that had stints with the Royals or with the Cardinals and the Reds out of Tate's Creek. We had John Shelby, Jeff Parrott. And for those young guys that are out there listening right now, there's a fellow tearing it up pretty much in the National League right now by the name of J.T. Riddle, who played at Western Hills High School down in Frankfurt. So there are a lot of people there, and I can relate for tryout camps. Doug Flynn, he wasn't even considering baseball, and wound up going to a tryout camp for the Reds, made the Reds roster, and 5 years later he was in the majors, backing up pretty much 3 Hall of Famers.
I'm going to bring up a rival to you here, Coach. Well, a rival in football, it seems like, but it's not nothing to walk on Lexington Catholic's campus and see the Rangers there or some Major League Baseball team just sitting there watching some kid play.
There were 4 or 5 scouts last week at any given game of the 11th region tournament. I don't know how many were at the 12th. I mean, that's what's so neat about baseball. You got all these guys that go out and they find these diamonds in the rough.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the baseball bracket, because that's the most important topic that we got here today. Is just congratulations on making the state. Taking out Lincoln County, but playing in a tough region. That's consistently. If you look at their success at the state level, when the team makes it, out of the 12th region, they do pretty well. I mean, obviously West Jessamine in 2015 did awesome. Mercer County's played in the championship twice, and since they've been a school, and just great teams show up out of the 12th region at the state tournament.
We covered the 43rd on PrepSpin.
Yeah.
But, everybody talks about baseball in Lexington being real good. But you've had Woodford County, who's been good in the past.
Right.
You've had East Jessamine. You've had West Jessamine, Mercer, Boyle. Danville's been good in the past. It's just not Lexington. I think we get lost as media focus on Lexington.
Yeah.
But you go around Central Kentucky, there are some good baseball teams. We can't forget Harrison County over there in the 10th as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think, Coach Wynn, what he's doing at Boyle, I mean, it's just starting to spread out even more of Central Kentucky. Would you agree, Coach?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. No question. Your Lexington, Louisville schools like that have been some perennial powerhouses. But I think now you're looking at, and you can look at the the history of the teams that are in it right now. You're getting some first-time guys. You're getting some ones that haven't been there in quite a while, but then you're getting some that haven't been in a while, but they've been 2 out of the last 3 years, 3 out of the last 4 years, and kind of coming from different parts of the state and coming consistently. So,
all right, back to the bracket. Big matchup. You guys obviously got a great side of the bracket, because this bottom bracket is crazy. You got number 1 versus number 2 with McCracken and Trinity there. Trinity obviously number 1 in the state right now at 32-5. McCracken County coming in the same record, 32-5. But those 2 teams, and then you got underneath that, the winner of that game's got to turn around and play either Scott County or Caldwell County, which will probably be, let's just be honest, it'll probably be Scott County.
Don't count out Caldwell. I've been looking at Caldwell's stats, and
Scott County's good though.
Too.
I have to give them props. Scott County is very, very good.
I think the difference in that game might be pitching. Scott County might be a little bit more depth in the pitching staff than maybe Caldwell, but don't count out the Tigers of Caldwell County in that one. Based on stats.
I'm just going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that it's no question about it. Scott County's going to win that game. Just because, they're just too deep. Highlands and Johnson Central is another matchup in that bottom bracket. Then you got PRP and Franklin Simpson. out of there too. So
you talk about teams with a lot of tradition down there. PRP,
yeah,
Trinity. Those guys are but keep an eye out for that Johnson Central team. They can flat hit the baseball, but here's the difference. They can field it too. They do not beat themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's
You're gonna have to hit the ball.
Sean Hall's the head coach down there. They're 31-7 on the season.
They're a good baseball team. I got to see them in person down in Versailles about a month ago, and they can flat pick it.
Coach, what does your schedule look like right now? We obviously know you got your big game coming up against Knox County Central. What do you know about Knox County Central, first of all? And then the other question is what's your schedule now between now and when the tournament starts? It starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, 6 o'clock tomorrow night we play. As far as Knox goes, they're a good team, well coached, which you can always say across the board about right now. Seem to have a good arm or two that we'll have to contain and try and overcome. But sounds like their lineup is pretty strong. 1 through 9 is what we've heard. We haven't played them this year. A couple teams in our area have. We played them a couple of years ago down at their place, so I think those players are out. I think they got a good young core, from what I understand. So I think that might be a team that we just talked about earlier that you could see coming back here in the next few years. As far as our schedule, obviously we had practice today. Tomorrow we'll leave kind of early afternoon. Guys have been kind of doing their thing with the team breakfast, which I think is great. They're going to continue that. Hopefully, keep some superstition going a little bit, and then we'll leave kind of early afternoon. Head up. We're going to get some swings up in Lexington, and then I think we can get into the ballpark about 4:30. So get in there, let the guys see the park a little bit, and not feel rushed.
Have you guys have you had an opportunity to play at the ballpark at all this year? I know that they had a lot of regular season games this year.
Yeah, no, we haven't. I know Boyle, before I took over, has been up there.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have coached there when I was at center. We kind of had our center transy rivalry game at the end of the year in May. Was always at that time Applebee's Park, and it was a neat experience. So I personally have gotten to coach there before, but I think it's going to be a first experience for our guys outside of watching the Legends play.
When you walk into a stadium that size, it holds about 10,000. I do all the Lexington Legends home games, and I think
on SOR night,
yeah. So when Tim Tebow was there, I think we had 8,500 or something like that. Was in there, which they had some standing room only still left, but that was about it. But the state tournament draws a big crowd when you guys are there and you're playing. You're going to be playing in front of a lot of people, not just your regular high school, field that you go to where you might have 200 or 300 people there. There's going to be thousands of people at Whitaker Bank Ball, or at least the KHSA hopes so. And I know Boyle County's going to pack the stands there. I remember a couple years ago when Mercer County was there, that place was just crazy. And then, of course, I'm keeping it in your region, Coach. When West Jessamine was there, I mean, it was amazing as well. But Boyle County, you guys got some of the best fans in the state.
Well, we appreciate that. Like I said, we pride ourselves on Rebel Nation a little bit, and I know the softball team, and like I said, track and tennis. It's been a great spring for Boyle. But I couldn't believe – I always keep my phone in my bag, obviously, during the game. When you get out of that 12th region game, finally got on the bus, and I couldn't keep up with all the text messages that were going by, all the text messages this week, just people you see around town, both for baseball and softball. This week has been pretty special, and that just goes back to how neat of a place Boyle County is and how special the fans and the community are. And I think you're right. I think a lot of people will be, if they're not in Lexington, they're going to be in Owensboro. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Coach, how neat is it to have that rivalry in town? Everybody knows it's called Titletown because of the football end of things, for the most part. But you got a counterpart over there at the city school in Danville and Paul Morris that his name is etched all over the baseball record books. So not only Danville high school records, but the state records. As a matter of fact, I think he still holds the season the career record for total home runs. But how neat is it to have him over there? And have you reached out to him to find out a little bit, maybe, of preparation-wise? I know the rivalry there, but I think it's more of the people who have attended, the alums who have attended the school that didn't play sports.
Yeah, no, it's a good rivalry. I don't think it matters what sport it is.
You don't find anybody more intense than he is either. I'll tell you that.
With Boyle Danville for sure.
Oh yeah.
We always have great games against each other, and in the past, in my 6 years at Boyle, and like I said, doesn't matter what sport it is: baseball, basketball, football, soccer, all your sports. It's a neat rivalry. You're right. Titletown got named because of football, but I think the other sports are right there with them recently, and I think that's pretty neat, not only for just the schools but the community as well. I think it's a neat thing. But no, with others, Coach Shope, Coach Hamilton, guys like that have also been sending text messages around. I've got a ton of 12th region coaches, Coach Grundy. I know I'm probably missing somebody, but I've gotten numerous texts from teams in the 12th region and other coaches that we coach against that have. I know Coach Shope, former coach that took Mercer 3 years in a row, has reached out, and it's pretty neat. Like I said, baseball is a coaching fraternity for sure, and there's been support around the 12th region for us. You always want to root on your region, that's for sure.
There was a Mercer kid, and you had mentioned Mercer, but there was a Mercer kid that played. I think it was the first year that they went to the state tournament, but he's got still one of the longest home runs ever hit there in a state tournament that I witnessed.
I was there.
Went over the Ford sign. Do you remember that,
I was
Coach?
there.
Yeah, I think it was Buckner. I think was his name.
There you go.
There
you go.
Yeah, he I don't know if it was ever going to land.
Yeah, that thing was gone.
I just happened to be on the call of that game.
Were you on that?
Okay. Of that game, and unfortunately for Mercer that year, they ran into
you and I both were on that, weren't we?
Yeah,
we
ran into two situations. Mercer ran into two situations in the championship game. First off, they ran into a very, very talented Central Hardin team in the championship game, and two, they ran out of pitching. They had to use so much pitching in the semifinal game. They ran out of pitching when they got the championship game. That was a quality team too.
How's your pitching staff right now, Coach? How's the arms and all that good stuff?
I think we're in good shape. We've got a handful of them that we feel comfortable with and that have gotten. The good thing is they've gotten good exposure in district play and region play in some tight spots, and hopefully that'll carry over into playing at Whitaker Bank this week and tomorrow night. But we've got a good handful of guys that we feel very comfortable with running out there at any point. Versus sometimes you feel like you're an all or nothing type team, and we got to ride this guy for 7 innings. Right. It's always nice to have that, so you set yourself up for the next night or the next time you play in a day or two with all the pitching limitation rules. But I don't think that's something that we really that we're really going to have to do if something should go wrong. We've got plenty of guys to step in.
Does it work out for you better? I mean, if you're one or two guys deep on your pitching staff, that's really your go-to guys. Does it help it out because the weeks are spread apart?
It does. I think that's there's always been talk about class baseball in Kentucky, and obviously not going that route, at least not right now. And I think that was kind of a little bit of a compromise. Some of the smaller schools, sometimes it's hard to get through that week when it started on Monday and the championship was that Saturday. You had to have 3-4 arms. Like you mentioned, Mercer County, one of the best teams in the state, might have just ran out of pitching that first year in the championship. But it kind of gives you a chance where you got 2 games the first, and then you can kind of replenish and recharge the batteries and get those couple guys back out there the next week. And that can help a smaller school sometimes that doesn't have 3, 4, 5, starting pitchers.
Yeah. Well, I know, Darrin and I are big fans. You guys are here in our backyard, and we're big fans of you and your team and your school. And, we wish you nothing but the best of luck, Coach, and hopefully when we get to come up there, not this weekend, but I got to go to softball this weekend, but hopefully we see you guys playing next weekend when we're up there and we're broadcasting those games.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys have been, I know I've worked with you as AD in the fall with different sports and in the winter, and you guys do great things for high school athletics, not only just, having us on and softball earlier before me, but we appreciate all you guys do covering high school athletics and getting exposure for the boys. So.
Well, we appreciate that, and we can't wait till obviously we want you to go out and win this baseball thing, but football right around the corner, and we're looking forward to covering you guys in football season again.
I appreciate it. I thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you, Coach. That's Coach Wynn, Boyle County Rebels, and they play again. They're going to be playing tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, against Knox County Central.
That's another upset. Coach didn't talk about that. That's another upset. Everybody was watching Corbin. They were the top team in the region out of the 13th for pretty much the entire season. Then all of a sudden, here's Knox Central, and it's a team getting hot at the right time.
Yep. All right, Coach. Thanks again for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you hopefully next weekend.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right, you too, buddy. Coach Kyle Wynn again there, Boyle County Rebels. Man, they've had a great season.
How good does it feel to cover not only the sports we have throughout the year, but to have as quality of teams in the baseball and softball as we've had to cover this year? It's been absolutely ridiculous, the number of great games we had. We had some great games last week in the 11th region tournament. We had some great games in the district tournaments the week before that, and then we had, and you see all these upsets. That's gonna be the fun part. And I'll tell everybody here, I'm glad I'm not making that ride with you tomorrow down to Owensboro. That's a long drive.
That is.
And I don't know how you're gonna go, but don't go down the Natchez Trail.
Well, yeah, I'm leaving on Friday actually because we got to set up for our Saturday broadcast.
Because there's nobody coming on either side. It's just you out there. If your car breaks down, you're in trouble.
Don't tell me that. I blew an engine 2 years ago on the Parkway.
Go up through Indiana or something. Go down that way. Don't go that way because it's tough from Bowling Green. But I'll probably be out tomorrow night and watch Boyle County play at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. I mean. Yeah. I do like the softball. I do like the ladies, and love to see the success that the teams in this area have had. I just want to. I'm more of a baseball guy. I know the softball's similar, but some kind of different rules that you got to get used to when you especially call them on the air and things. But I'll probably watch that Boyle County game tomorrow night.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm a Boyle County Rebel fan. Tomorrow night, I'm pulling for Coach Wynn and his team, and then. Of course, we'll be pulling for Coach Les Anderson and his Woodford County Yellow Jackets.
Now, they got a tough one. They beat Mercy earlier this year, and I think it was like 7-1.
Yeah.
But that was a stretch when they played Mail, Mercy, and I can't remember. There's like 3 or 4 other ranked teams right in a row, like 5 of them.
And we don't know what we're going to do with the it's just going to be a coin toss. I guess you're going to have to go Woodford. I'll go Boyle whenever Woodford and Boyle match up against each other in that softball tournament.
That's when I become neutral. I mean, yes, I do live in Versailles, and yes, I'm a Woodford County alum. But I'll just have to be honest. I'll have to go neutral there because I want to see Central Kentucky teams do well because that's our area that we predominantly cover.
Mm-hmm.
Although we've had some calls in the fall when you and I have done the middle school state football championships, we've had some calls and some emails wanting us to come up to Belfry and go down to Letcher County Central and go down to Corbin and things like that. And we're hoping to be able to do that this fall.
Yeah.
I think I would give my left arm because it's not working right now very well, but I think I would give my left arm to go do a game at Belfry.
Looks like you gave your left wrist to somebody.
I did. I broke my wrist, and I'm still having issues with it, but I'm okay. I'm playing hurt.
Hey, listen, we do got some breaking news today of a new baseball coach at Lexington Christian Academy that we need to talk about as well. Wynn Harris out of South Laurel. He's going to be their new head coach. He's taking over for Coach Keith Galloway.
Yep.
And he's going to be their new skipper over there at LCA.
Yeah. What a way for Coach Galloway to go out. First and foremost, he's a classy guy. Secondly, they made an unbelievable run in the 43rd district out of that Lexington area, and to get to the 43rd district championship. And to play as well as you do, and then you lose 6-5, and I believe it was it wasn't in the extra innings. It was bottom of the 7th one. No, it was extra innings.
Yeah.
It's the 10th inning. That's a tough way to lose. But then they came back, and then their draw, unfortunately, with them was with the Woodford County team that was actually playing pretty well in the first round of the region, and things. And what can you say about Coach Galloway? He's been there. Let's see, since 1999. So this is 18 years.
18 years at LCA, 25 years as a coach.
And he's still going to be at the school. He's still going to have some connection with the program and stuff. But we've been fortunate to meet a lot of coaches that we really work well with. And we didn't get to know Coach Galloway as well. I think you did. I knew him because I had a cousin that played baseball for him. But he is what high school sports should be all about. That should be the guy, that everybody looks at as a coach. Now, you can be hard on him and you can be tough and give him some tough love, but classy up till the day that his team was defeated in the postseason. And I don't know much about Coach. What did you say his name was?
Coach Wynn Harris.
I don't know much about Coach Harris other than the fact that he coached at a program, South Laurel, that when they split Laurel County down there, they actually had some really good athletic programs in North and South Laurel.
Yeah.
Their baseball team's been up here several years.
Yeah,
before.
I actually had an opportunity to talk with Coach Harris. Matter of fact, before we went live on air tonight, we recorded an interview. Just want to warn you guys, though, that the sound isn't that great. He was using an older laptop, he said, so we're going to send him a webcam out, but that's got a nice mic in it. But you can understand it. I mean, it's me talking with Coach Harris, and he's talking about the new program and what he's going to do over there at LCA. So I'd like to give that to you guys tonight as a bonus treat here on the first show. This is me talking with Coach Wynn Harris. All right, Coach. Coach Wynn Harris, new Lexington Christian Academy baseball coach, on here with us tonight. And first off, Coach, congratulations on the great career choice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So you're leaving a South Laurel team. I know it's kind of hard to leave a place that's been so good to you, but just talk to me about the situation there and what made you choose LCA.
I've been at South Laurel for 12 years. The entire time I've been a teacher, coach, been primarily at South Laurel. And just kind of timing of life, my kids are getting, to be in school age, and I felt like if we were going to make a change, now was the time. And then the luck of the, opportunity being open was something that, I had to jump at. Not to mention the awesome people that are at LCA and the awesome environment that they have there, the awesome facilities. It's probably some of the best baseball in Kentucky, if not the best baseball in Kentucky. So
yeah, absolutely.
The challenge is
very tough district that you're coming in. Here in Lexington, that year in and year out, it seems like everybody's got an opportunity to win it. What do you feel, about what you got ahead of you as far as the competition level? Not saying anything bad about the district that you came from, but the 43rd is definitely considered to be one of the toughest districts in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, it's almost like the way I picture it is it's almost like playing a region tournament, within your district, which is something a lot of people don't do. The level of competition, fluctuates from area to area, but I'm excited about that. In order, I talked to my guys about, being successful and what we want to do and the goals we want to accomplish. And in order to do that, you got to be able to play at a high level. And so there's no busting up the schedule because you have a better team or letting down because you got a down team. You're going to play in probably the best district in the state. So that's going to be a given. So that's exciting. That prep to prepare for postseason play is phenomenal. And then the ability to just compete against really good baseball,
You're filling in some big shoes here. Coach Keith Galloway retiring after, I want to say he was with not necessarily LCA, but he's been coaching baseball for like the past 25 years.
Right.
But he's certainly, he's kind of like a Hall of Famer there at LCA.
He is a Hall of Famer. That process, I told my wife on the way back today, we met with the team, and I told her, I said, it's such a humbling experience to be following a man, not just a coach, but a man of that magnitude. Coach Galloway, I've known of him and known him for a while, and you will not find a better Christian man than Keith Galloway. And not to mention that he can coach a little bit too. So he's the entire package. And so to follow that up, it's some big shoes to fill. It's going to be, it's one of those things that kind of it weighs on you a little bit too when you're making a decision.
Yeah, well, Terry definitely thinks high of you, and I know Coach Galloway had a lot to do with the search, and as they found you as well. So I know they're really excited there at LCA as well. Let's talk about what you bring to the table. What do we know, or what do we need to know about Coach Wynn Harris?
We don't need to know anything. We won't keep it a secret right now in the 43rd. No, there's no secrets really. I want our guys to be complete players. I want our teams to be complete, well-balanced teams. I want us to be able to utilize the steal, the bunt, hit and run. I want us defensively to play solid, fundamental baseball, throw strikes, keep the double play in order. Hit a cutoff man just like every other coach. The thing about baseball is, other coaches and other teams aren't playing with a different playbook than you are, like in other sports. Mm-hmm. So I want us to be foundational in what we do, and then build from there. And each year's group of kids is going to allow you to expand or decrease what you want to do.
Yeah, you get exciting baseball. I mean, all around, not only at the high school level. We talked about the 43rd and it being a tough district to play in, but Lexington has been supporting baseball pretty heavily for a while now with the Lexington Legends, the minor league team in town, but then UK baseball as well that has had an unbelievable season. They'll be playing in the Super Regionals coming up, Coach, and Lexington's a baseball town. A lot of people say it's all basketball, but it is baseball.
Oh, I've heard that. I mean, going through this process, numerous amounts of people have said Lexington is a baseball town. And we were fortunate enough to be at the final game there on Monday night. My two boys fell asleep there in the stands, and that is just a representation of the kind of support that you get in Lexington. And I think for all of the high school teams, that's exciting for me. What Coach Mingione's been able to do over at UK is just, I think, at this point in time, it's so exciting for kids in the state of Kentucky. Because he's kind of brought a spotlight. Him and Dan McDonald at Louisville both have brought a spotlight that, hey, Kentucky's not just basketball. It's not Louisville and Kentucky basketball. It's Louisville and Kentucky baseball as well. So to have two teams from the state of Kentucky playing in the Super Regional, for the kids in Kentucky, that gives you a lot of hope, and that's a lot of excitement.
Absolutely. Coach, we're excited to have you here in Lexington. I know you do a great job. Unfortunately, South Laurel loses you, but you build a great program down there as well, and I know that they love you for what you did, Coach.
Well, thank you very much. It's I'm excited. I'm honored, and I'm humbled, and overwhelmed all at the same time. This is going to be. Hopefully, this will be good for all parties.
Well, congratulations. By the way, state baseball tournament right around the corner. What's your thoughts on that? Any favorites that you may have?
I don't know. Since they went to the 2 weeks, the split of the state tournament, I think you widen that thing up to just about anybody. You don't have to play 4 games in what was it, 5 or 6 days anymore. Now you're playing, basically 2. You're basically playing a little super regional there to try to get to the Final Four. So, with that being said, the amount of pitching and innings that you have to have totally decreases, and I think it makes it better for smaller schools. I think it gives them more of an opportunity to make kind of a run.
Yeah.
But
does the new schedule impact pitching in your opinion? Does that help teams out?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think anytime you can use less people and have more rest, I think that's going to be beneficial. Do I like that? I don't know. I do from a standpoint if you don't have a lot of arms. But if you're at a place where you've got a full stable, You kind of want to be throwing your pretty good number three against somebody's not so good number three. That gives you an advantage. But at the same time, I get it. It's all about arm care and the health of a player, and that being at the forefront. And so, for that being said, I think it's a positive thing. I think anytime you take care of the student athlete, when you think about their future and their physical, mental health, yeah, it's a no-brainer. That's a win.
One more question for you, Coach, and I'll let you go. I know you got a lot of family time that you need to spend with your family there, but have you thought about any of your staff yet? And, are you searching starting now? How's that working?
Yeah, we're working on it. I've met with a couple of guys so far, and there's a couple that I think I'm going to keep around from the previous staff, and then I've got a couple of guys from outside so far that I'm going to try to bring on board. But I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. We're still at the 2017 season's not over, so we've got some time before we can start hitting it real heavy in the fall, and I want to make sure I've got the right men in place. They've got to fit a mold for me. They've got to be good, solid dudes first and foremost, and then I want the best guys coaching our guys. Because obviously you've said it, and we talked about it here in this little clip. 43rd is the best baseball in Kentucky, so you got to have the best helping them, the kids that you got.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, I'll let you get back to your family time there, and just appreciate you taking the time out with us. It's certainly breaking news here in Lexington today that you've been named the new head coach of Lexington Christian baseball.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Coach.
All right.
Take a little walk with me. I'll keep you in good company and be there for you till the end. You'll never be alone, my friend.
Hi, this is Gary Ball for Crown Trophy of Lexington. Crown Trophy offers youth sports awards, corporate awards. They offer signs and a full line of promotional products. They're located at 2680 Wilhite Drive on the corner of Nicholasville, New Circle Road, just behind Starbucks. Stop by and pick up your copy of our 85-page catalog. Crown Trophy is nationally known, but locally owned with 150 stores nationwide. Crown Trophy, the official provider of plaques for the Scholastic Ball Report and PrepSpin.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall and allsportslex.com, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Sitters are here.
I'm ready. Okay, kids, behave.
Man to man.
I got the little guy.
Oh, did you leave cash for the pizza?
I got it.
With more features than ever.
All right, who's hungry?
Mobile banking from Central Bank lets you deposit checks, pay bills,
Okay, you're gonna get a rip screen.
send and receive funds with Pop Money, and more.
Hey.
So you can stay in the game without missing a step. Do more with mobile banking from Central Bank, official bank of UK Athletics.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
All right.
Caught us napping.
I'm just kind of laid back here right now, man. I'll tell you.
They kind of caught us a little off guard there.
Well, no, we were showing the interview that I did. Sorry about the audio issue with that. He was calling in from London. Not that had anything to do with it. You can call from anywhere in the world as long as you got a webcam and a Chrome browser to get on our show. But we just need to upgrade Coach's mic.
Well,
his camera looked pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, it looked really good.
Yeah. But Darrin Douglas here with me here as we're talking sports. Darrin, we had a had a few great guests here tonight. Coach Kyle Wynn of Boyle County. Him and his baseball team will take on Knox County Central tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Whitaker Bank Ballpark. You can get your tickets there at the ballpark. And then, of course, the semifinals and finals will be broadcast live on the NFHS network. So, you guys keep that in mind as well. And then also want to make sure everybody knows that the softball will also, the semifinals and finals will be broadcast.
And hopefully we'll have a couple of Central Kentucky teams in the semis there.
Yeah, it could be.
Of at least the winner's bracket.
Could be. Well, I mean, you got to like Woodford County's chances out of that bracket that they're in, and then Boyle County's pretty good too with Coach Brian Deem and his team.
Yeah,
I like them both.
I really look at Woodford's bracket through that bottom half of the bracket in the girls softball tournament, and that first game is going to be tough. Mercy's going to be pretty good, and they have. I don't think Woodford with those young girls will be nervous at all. Just simply because I know pretty much those 5 or 6 freshmen that play a lot. And we forgot to mention with Coach Anderson a while ago too. Woodford knocks off Scott County.
Yep.
They had met in the championship game of the 11th region tournament 4 years in a row. This was the 4th year in a row those two programs matched up. And then on top of that, it's from what I'm talking to Tracy Spickert, who is the softball coach in Franklin County, also the athletic director down at Franklin County, talking to Coach Spickert, that she said that they expected a huge crowd there. I heard there were 5 and 6 deep standing along the fence rows down each foul line.
Really?
Yeah. At least 5 or 6 deep. Maybe at certain points, maybe deeper than that. And then on top of that, you had the weather playing a factor for a couple of days where they postponed the games. And then you run into the situation where the ebb and flow of the game, both teams threatened a couple of times early, didn't get anybody in, and it was nothing. Go to the top of the 6th inning, and your freshman, Delaney Enlow, steps up and hits one that was a no-doubter. 210 down the lines and about 235 to dead center field. From more than one account,
yeah,
I heard this thing was 40 to 50 feet over the fence, further back.
Yeah,
so
I think Coach was saying earlier that it was 245 feet or something.
She is very
like that.
strong. Not only this, but what we forgot to mention was Enlow's the starting center on the basketball team for Woodford County. She averaged a double.
Wow.
As a freshman. Pretty good. You don't find too many freshmen that come in and do that. And she can, like she said, she has the world at her feet. Good student, solid student. Their GPA, from what I gather, for Woodford's softball team, 3.5 collectively.
That's really good.
That's unweighted.
Yeah, that's
or
really
weighted,
good.
I should say. It's 4 something weighted. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially when you play at that high level. And, they've beaten out of those teams in this tournament. I think they played 12 of the 15 opponents potentially for them. And I think the only team they had lost to was Scott County.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Let's go back through the bracket again, and this is the softball bracket we'll go back over.
Okay.
You got North Laurel, Leslie County.
That one could be a good one, just because the regions are close together. You got the 15th, the 14th and the 13th. That could be a good one. North Laurel is pretty good. They've been there before. I think this is Leslie's first trip.
McCracken County and Mel.
Oh boy! If I had a whole lot of money and had means to either private jet or helicopter, I might go down there just for that game and fly back. That would be a good one. That McCracken's been either 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the top 25 or in the top 10 all year long. Male's been in the top 10 all year long. 2 of the losses for Male to Woodford County.
You got Central Hardin and South Warren.
South Warren's a team that you haven't heard a whole lot about. Being down there in Bowling Green, but they are really good.
Games.
They are really good, huh?
They've only lost 3 games on
one of
the
those
season.
To Woodford County.
I know.
See the trend here. I mean, you got some teams in this softball tournament that are going to be. I mean, that have been in the top 20 all year long.
I know Scott Thompson, who's going to be calling the semifinals and finals on the NFHS network. He is a big South Warren guy.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're good ball. They're a good athletic program. Probably the biggest win for the athletic program was the football team, I think 2 or 3 years ago, when they won the state title.
Mm-hmm. Then you got Owensboro Catholic in Harrison County.
Have to give the edge to Owensboro Catholic.
Actually, I skipped Collins and East Carter.
Unfortunately for Collins, it's the first trip ever for the women's team there for softball. Unfortunately, you get a pretty good Northeast Mountain team.
Mm-hmm.
East Carter's pretty good. You don't hear a lot about them down here in this area, but they're really good.
You can look at your camera, by the way.
I know, but I'm looking at you because I always, a lot of people don't understand that I'm a radio guy. Radio guy is something you have to look at your partner.
I get that. It's hard for me to look at the camera too. I'm going to have to teach myself to keep looking at it because I'm always behind the scenes.
My late dad and mother both said I got a face for radio, so and I do. I have to admit I do. I'm surprised, folks. I'm surprised William didn't jump on that. I teed it up for him. He let it alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait before I tee that one up. All right, Boyle County and Notre Dame.
I have to go with Boyle County because they're probably playing the best softball they played all year at this point in time of the season.
Yeah, Notre Dame a big soccer school.
Yeah, Notre Dame's a pretty big soccer school, and like I said, it comes. It's right out of Covington, right there. It's right across the road from Covcath. You can't miss it. It sits up on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Covcath sits down in the hole across the road and up above it, and it looks like, and I don't mean derogatory, just the style of building. That's the main building of campus for Notre Dame Academy.
Yeah.
It looks like if there was a fog, some lightning behind it, it'd be a great setting in the front yard for a horror movie. I'm serious. I mean, the building is old. I bet it's 100 years old, the main building on campus.
Transylvania or something, right?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
All right, so we got Woodford County and Mercer County. I know you're going to be a homer on this.
Mercy Academy?
Mercy Academy,
yeah.
Sorry. Out of Louisville, right?
I just have to go with Woodford because of their two pitchers. I know Mercy's got a pretty good pitcher themselves. I just like the way this Woodford team's playing. I've seen them play a couple of times here in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't see them play in the postseason at all, but evidently, from all indications from everybody I've talked to within the program, outside the program, and from other schools they played, they're playing as good defensively right now as any team in the state. So, and as you can tell, those freshmen, I don't mean anything by it. I mean, you got to admit, a freshman is probably 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think back to when I was 14, 15 years old, I was too dumb to know the magnitude of some kind of, sporting events I was a part of. And I look back and I said, okay, I was too dumb to get nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So I maybe performed better than I probably should have had I known the magnitude of the. And I just think that's going to be the key to Woodford's season is that young bunch. That senior bunch is good, but that young bunch, that freshman bunch, for the next 3 years, you don't want to be an 11th region team to play them. They're going to be good.
Pikeville, Madisonville, North Hopkins.
I got to go with Madisonville. They've been in the top 5 all year. Good softball program, solid program. Don't know much about Pikeville, but I will tell you one thing about any mountain team.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to fight and scratch and claw for the whole game or the whole match or whatever sport they're in. They won't go down without a fight. It'll be tougher than Madisonville will want, to be honest with you.
Who's your final? Who do you like?
Oh, well, with it being double elimination, it's a matchup that we would have seen, I believe, in a tournament had the rain not played havoc with it. I'm going Woodford and McCracken County.
It's a good matchup. It's a really good matchup.
I'm going with those two. I think those two. No offense to any other teams, but I just think those two teams have the pitching, the offense, the base running, and the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? I mean, I may be totally wrong.
Well, and they both played a tough schedule
yes,
too.
I may be totally wrong. I mean, those two. How well this tournament is spaced out.
I think you're right on. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think you're right on with the softball. Obviously, I like to see Boyle County do.
I'd like to see them do well.
Fairly
too.
well.
I'd love to see Woodford County, Boyle County.
But I think you're right.
Game.
I think you're right. Woodford County and McCracken County. I think that's.
McCracken.
I think we can agree.
McCracken's a solid program. I mean, they have They have spent no expense for the student athlete down there. Their school is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Their athletic facilities are second to none. I thought when I drove past it at one point in time, about 5 years ago, I thought I was driving past a small college.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful facility. But I just think those two teams are probably the deepest when it comes to their order.
All right, let's talk about baseball again. Go down the bracket, and we'll tell you who we like. Simon Kenton and George
This is
Rogers.
a little bit more tough, to be honest with you, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, baseball, you don't ever know what you're going to have out there on the field, you know?
Yeah, I fully expected that West Jessamine team that won the state championship a couple of years ago to win it. I thought they had enough
they had
talent to win it.
Yeah, the offensive power that they had.
They I tell you what, they didn't hit as many home runs as that Central Hardin team did back in 2010. Was it 2000?
Mm-hmm.
That was 2011, wasn't it? The Central Hardin team. It was 32-5.
No, that was the game that we did. They played Mercer
Yeah,
County,
and they
right?
beat Mercer. Oh, I wish they had a run rule then. Poor Mercer. I mean, they did, but it was just I felt sorry for Mercer. It just ran out of pitching. But that West Jessamine team, I thought could win it because of the fact that they had so much offense. They had good enough pitching to get them there,
mm-hmm.
and then they had really solid defense. All
right, so here we go.
That first game is going to be tough to pick.
I think. I mean, I really like to see George Rogers Clark win, but I think Simon Kenton might be a little bit too much for him.
Simon Kenton is one of those teams out of the 8th region. Okay, it doesn't seem right to say Simon Kenton in the 8th region.
They're 24-15 on the season.
Simon Kenton is,
yeah, and then 23-9 for GRC. You're right though. I mean, it's definitely a toss-up.
It's a match. See, if you go by record only, it could be drastically misleading.
Yeah,
because number one, you don't know strength of schedules for both teams. You don't know who was missing people early, and all that stuff.
I don't think George Rogers Clark had as hard of a schedule
maybe
as Simon
not.
Kenton played.
And I can't get used to saying Simon Kenton out of the 8th region. That's driving me crazy. I mean, here they are, Northern Kentucky school,
mm-hmm.
and they're playing in the 8th region. It just them and Covenant Scott, that drives me nuts.
Well, here we go. Let's go to game number 2.
I'm going to go with Simon Kenton too.
Muhlenberg County, Rowan County. I think Rowan County
has that extra motivation.
Yeah, I think
they're
they
playing
do
for
it
the
for
coach. They're playing for the coach.
They're either going to come out and do it for the coach, or they're going to come out flat.
Yeah, or they're going to put so much pressure on themselves. They're not going to play their game.
What team are we going to see from Rowan County? I guess that's the question. Are they going to come out and everything's working on all cylinders?
I would like to see him come out relaxed. That's going to be on the coaching staff. Because whether the head coach is there or not, now the rest of the staff's got to step up their game.
Yeah.
I just hope Rowan County comes out and plays their game. They could put so much pressure on themselves, though, William, that they wind up being so tight that they don't play their game. So it's going to be up to that coaching staff to get them relaxed if their head coach is not there.
Here's another toss-up, and it's going to be Hazard and Marion County. Hazard's got a little bit of experience at the state.
Yeah, they do. And it's two schools that aren't very big.
Mm-hmm.
I think Marion County might be one of those schools that comes in and plays above their head maybe a little bit over the exuberance of getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they play well. I hope that the stage is not too big for them. Being that big ballpark, that could be tough on you.
Yeah.
I just want for anybody that's watching us down there in Lebanon tonight to be sure whenever your game time is, the last person out of Lebanon, turn out the lights. Because everybody in Lebanon is probably going to be here.
Then you got.
I got to go with Hazard in that one though, because Hazard, they've been here before, but their athletic programs have always been solid.
You got also. I got a little loud on me there. I guess because I put my mouth a little bit closer to the mic.
Maybe.
Well, you got Boyle County and Knox County Central.
That one's going to be one of those toss-ups.
It's going to be a tough one, but I think if Boyle County beats Knox County Central, I think they win that top half of the bracket.
They could. That's the thing. I mean, I think Coach Wynn hit that a while ago. The stage is a big one. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's a state tournament, and it's a big because of that. But that big ballpark, that can be intimidating for kids to just go in there and play.
Yeah,
that's why I like the fact that the KHSAA's worked out a deal with the Legends to get in there several times through the year with several games. We did a game there this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know there were several other games there, but we did one. It was Henry Clay and East Jessamine. And neither team, unfortunately, doesn't come out of their region. I don't think either team made it out of their district, did they? I know Henry Clay didn't.
No.
So so I think Bull's got the pitching, and I think they, even though that team hadn't been there in a while to play at Whitaker Bank Park, I still think some of those guys that have been around, have already left the program, maybe still hang around the program, and maybe kind of say some stuff to those kids that are on that team currently.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help. And with the fact Knox Central has not been there, not even to play a regular season game, could be the factor. So I got to go with Bull on that one.
We need to give a shout out to, of course, White Greer Maggard Orthodontics. They're our title sponsor here on the network. I want to thank those guys for all that they do, and gals over there.
And gals, don't forget the girls now.
Braces, if you need them, go see White Greer Maggard. Beaumont Center. Matter of fact, we know a lot of Boyle County fans are still on watching right now because you're tweeting us at PrepSpin, by the way, if you want to tweet at us. But they also got an office there right across from Boyle County High School, so make sure to check that out as well. And then Darrin Douglas, let's see, Alt 32. They're one of our new sponsors on the network. Want to give them a shout out. Alt 32, their architecture, and they build some of the schools and the gymnasiums that you see around the state. And I just want to thank them as they are a new sponsor here on the network. Simply Great Soaps, want to thank them. Handcrafted soaps over in Paris. Father's Day's coming up, and Dad likes taking baths too, so at least we hope. Make sure to check that out.
I think dads do too, but I don't know about the scented soap. There might be a difference there.
I think they got it for both men and women over there. Matter of fact, on their website, they do get a men's category.
I'll have to try some maybe.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Speaking of Paris, Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of PrepSpin. Lots of Mingy Beef Jerky, especially during football season.
That's a dessert.
It's good.
That's a dessert, yeah.
It's good, yeah.
Because we're always, somebody asked me, how did you, what are some of the perks you get? I said, well, I get in free. I get to park right behind a press
and
box.
You get the Mingy, right?
Get the Mingy, but you get to sample some of the greatest food.
Mm-hmm.
They said, what do you do? I said, well, I go find out where I'm broadcasting from. Then I find out where the restroom is. Then I find out where the hospitality room or the concession stand is located. And not necessarily in that order. Choosing the food first I'm looking for.
Bluegrass Orthopedics, want to thank those fine folks for all that they do on the network as well, especially the show, the BGO Studio right here. We're live in the BGO Studio. It's got a name.
It's got a name. Who else? Rafferty's?
Rafferty's is a sponsor on
where the special is you.
Yep.
Get treated well out there. We had for those that have followed us on the network, we had our 11th Region boys and girls basketball preview show from out at Rafferty's, and
that was pretty good.
I still have people comment when I see them out in the area, not just for sales, but Lexington, Georgetown, that they love the idea that we came up with and doing it, and they hope we continue to do that, as well as maybe getting involved with other sports on it.
We need to get them on this new technology you got here with the video.
Yeah.
We had that was just audio broadcast there from there, but
we can do it otherwise now.
Yeah, we got the capability now. As you saw, the coaches call in. Les Anderson called in earlier. Kyle Wynn of Boyle County. And we also had Coach Harris, the new LCA baseball coach.
And that's the thing, too. We got some things going on coming up with a new high school in Lexington.
Yeah.
We haven't hit all the baseball ones, have we? Yet?
No. Yeah, we still got a few more to go. We got number 1 and 2. But I'm holding off on that. I do want to say, sometimes we get sidetracked. That's okay, though. We don't have a time limit. That's the beautiful thing of the show.
We don't have a producer because he's sitting right to me on the right over here.
Yeah, we're in good shape, man.
And sometimes I have to produce, so guess what?
Yeah.
We got 2 producers here, and we'll butt heads sometimes.
We got Frederick Douglass High School. They're going to join us.
S. Douglass High School, and they are still going to be called the Stallions.
Yes, as far as we know.
Well, everybody I've talked to in the last couple of weeks, they're sticking with the Stallions because it's not a negative connotation.
Right.
A stallion is not necessarily a sexual connotation. It is a male horse.
Mm-hmm.
That is used for breeding.
Well, I looked at there's some schools in like Virginia and places like that are called the Stallions. But besides the point, Frederick Douglass They're going to come on the show.
Yeah, and they've got their new football coach. Is it
Yep,
baseball?
he's going to be on the show.
Coach?
We got Sean Hines that does all their media stuff over there, and
the hit
principals.
Man. Have you ever met Coach Landis?
Yeah, I went to the day that they introduced him over there at that Mod Pizza.
One of the most vicious hits I've ever seen on a football field.
Is that right?
And it was completely legal. He hit the guy right in the chest.
Really?
And then the NAIA National Championship. He played for Georgetown. So if I get excited about Coach Landis, I know him personally, number one. And number two.
You know, they got the beef jerky bowl, the Mingy beef jerky bowl over there at Frederick Douglass.
They're going to have that this year?
It's going to be at Frederick Douglass.
Well, we'll actually,
So
we're actually kicking around the idea of having their first ever football game on PrepSpin. Correct?
Yeah, from Danville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Danville,
part of the Bob Allen Bowl. Yep.
Used to be called the Champions Bowl over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. By the way, we can go ahead and tell you guys our first football game that we're going to broadcast is going to be the VisitNick.com Bowl this year.
That's it.
We didn't do it
West,
last
right?
year. It's going to be at East.
It's going to be at East.
Yeah, it's at East where we got plenty of room to broadcast.
Yeah, that press box is wide. Got a lot of room to move around.
So that's real far back away from the field, but that's okay.
It hurts us old guys.
Well, we got good cameras,
like
and
Gary and myself, and
I'm getting there. Although I do need to thank.
You're the spring chicken of this
You just
group.
remind me of another one of our sponsors, man. Need to thank Maya and Eyes. You know, those guys have done some great stuff with the sports, and they sent me a shirt. And Jeff Klosterman Eye Care, matter of fact, is who behind it.
Okay.
Need to thank those fine folks for all that they do. He gave me some of these Ortho K lenses.
Okay.
So I wear them at nighttime when I'm asleep.
Yeah. Well,
hey, get on those, by the way. I haven't been doing it.
Well, we keep talking about sponsors. We just went UK Sports Medicine.
Yeah, they're a sponsor on PrepSpin.
That's a good one. Also, Bob Allen, or no, it's Southern Chevrolet.
Yeah, we got
text and
UK.
drive.
Yeah, we got UK until baseball season's over with, and then next year it's all BGO. UK will be doing, of course, Scholastic Ball Report with Gary, but
Gary Ball, for those who don't know.
Gary Ball, yeah. But yeah, we'll have UK Sports Medicine
who
on
actually
for
I
a
think is
couple more
watching
weeks.
us tonight. I don't know if he tweeted us or not.
Yeah.
I think that's all the sponsors we got now.
That's what we've got right now.
I think we run through them all.
I think so.
Oh, workout anytime.
Workout anytime in Versailles. Yeah, we need to thank those fine folks too, because Woodford County was on us tonight.
Yeah. Well, he's also going to be joining us in the fall.
You know,
we work it out.
Me and the wife, we just got a membership there.
I did too.
We decided that we were going to do it.
You know, when you're getting old, when you have to join a gym.
Well, I've been wanting to lately, so.
Yeah, I just got a text message too. I want to tell you from my great niece.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been getting them all night long from a little bit of everybody.
Brinley, Willoughby is listening and watching.
Got Coach Nate Valentine. He's going to be coming on the show soon.
LCA. They had a great basketball season this year.
Yep. Of course, we mentioned Lexington Catholic earlier, and we can get those guys on too.
We're going to get a lot of that thing is. We're not afraid to branch out though.
No, we'll go ahead. Any coach in the state's welcome to come on our show. We'll talk to you. If
William and I can find the town, we'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, we'll bring them in on the show.
I know, but we'll be there for a ball game too if it works out. We ain't afraid to travel.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely been talking about going down to Belfry.
They have been on us for 5 years.
Yeah.
To come down there and do it.
We got some of the best tailgating food in the state.
I gained 5 pounds just what you read me that year.
When we did the middle school stuff.
Yeah, I gained 5 pounds just reading what you were reading.
All right.
What you were reading off. Go ahead.
Let's finish. We got the bottom half of the bracket to go here in baseball.
Let's knock it off here.
Oh, should I recap the top real quick? Just go through them and tell what the matchups are.
Yeah, real quick. Just so,
all right, because we got sidetracked big time.
Yeah, we got to talk about everything else.
All right, Simon Kenton, George Rogers Clark, Muhlenberg County,
that starts
Rowland
at 1:30,
County.
right? Or 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll
have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hazard and Marion County, Boyle County, Knox County, Central. We know that's a 6 o'clock game.
Yeah.
And then here's the bottom half of the bracket that we haven't touched on yet. Number 1 versus number 2 in the state, Trinity, McCracken County. Both 32-5 coming into this one.
Trinity.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been there. McCracken County has not.
Yeah, I mean, from experience.
I'm going with Trinity.
From experience, you have to go with Trinity. But McCracken County may pull that upset.
Could be. They could.
It depends. It depends. I mean, they've got an ace. It's going to be ace going against ace.
Yeah, they got a shot. But I just have to go with the experience of being there. The stage just might be too big.
I don't know.
That
one's going to be too hard.
Once you break your maiden and get into the state championship tournament,
I like the underdog, and I guess number 2 is the underdog.
Yeah, you have to be. But I still, no offense to McCracken County, I just think Trinity's just their experience is going to show.
Scott County, Coach Willard, Caldwell County. I know you said earlier Caldwell County may shock.
I'm just saying, watch them because Scott County, at times, we saw them in the region championship last week get a little lazy defensively.
Yeah.
The only thing that helped them, I think, in that game with Lafayette was Lafayette threw the ball around the ball yard, and we didn't mean anything by it other than the fact they committed 4 errors, and 3 of them were in 1 inning, and that helped Scott County get that big lead. I just think Scott County's just too deep in pitching.
Yeah, I think Scott County wins that game.
And their 1 and 2 hitters are as good as anybody. One has signed with UK, the other one signed with U of L. That tells you how good those 2 guys are.
Yeah. Highlands and Johnson Central.
Johnson Central.
You like them over Highlands?
I like the fact that they can play defense. You're going to have to hit the ball for your Highlands to beat them. Yeah. They do not commit errors.
We'll see if the Eagles show up.
And they've been there. Highlands has been there too, but it's been a few years.
Mm-hmm. Well, team that's consistently seems like at state is PRP.
Yeah.
I'm taking on Franklin Simpson.
Athletes at Franklin Simpson. Athlete upon athlete upon athlete. Speed. I like PRP.
Even because of what you just said.
Yes, but just because you're going to have to hit the ball.
PRP is a baseball school, too.
PRP is a baseball school. Brian Milam, no offense to that, because he's a Butler Bear, and they're a baseball school, too. But PRP's just been there, done that. They are as good a baseball program as you'll find in the state. And they've been there. I cannot remember when Franklin Simpson has been to the state tournament in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just seems like PRP is always there about every year. Them or Butler out of that 6th region usually.
All right. Who's your final 2? You got to pick one from the top bracket, one from the bottom.
What's the 8 teams in the top half of the bracket again?
Simon Kenton, George Rogers Clark, Muhlenberg County, Rowan County, Hazard, Marion County, Boyle County, Knox Central. I'm telling you, whoever wins the Boyle Knox Central game,
that's gonna be a good game.
Whoever wins that game, I think, is going to win that bracket. Although Rowan County may surprise people because it depends on what Rowan County shows up.
And again, it's going to be the you can be the most talented kid in the world, but if your nerves get too much for you, or you try to do too much, you can hurt your ball club.
Mm-hmm.
I think, really, truthfully, it's going to be between Rowan County and Boyle County. How that top half of the bracket.
Okay.
And I would love to see Boyle County get there. I would like to see Rowan County get there just for sentimental reasons because of their coach and the situation he's in right now. But, geez, boy, I'm going to waffle on this one. That's tough out of that top half of the bracket because they're all about equal.
I think the bottom half.
The bottom half's loaded.
The bottom half is definitely loaded.
And it's a murderer's row.
The top half, I really like Boyle and Rowan. I think out of the top.
I think I'm going to lean towards Boyle just because they're playing.
Well, I got Boyle in the championship. Whoever wins
good.
Boyle and Knox Central is going to go to the championship.
I think Boyle. Man alive, I may change my mind on the way home. Boyle County.
All right.
Bottom half, I think it's Trinity.
Yeah.
They've been number 1 all year.
I'm going to go with Scott County on the bottom. I think
with Scott County Trinity matchup,
here's what's going to happen: McCracken and Trinity
are going to wear each other out.
It's probably going to be an extra inning game.
Well, if the tournament was all played in the same week, I'd like Scott County because their depth of pitching. They have 3 quality starters in McKee. Oh gosh.
Well, don't forget you still got to play the quarterfinal though.
Right, but I mean you got 2 games this week and 2 games next week.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So
you're going to have.
So Scott County's a little bit deeper in pitching, I think, than most teams.
Here's what you got.
I go with Trinity.
You got 1 versus 2 in the first round, and then you got a potential 1 versus 3 or 2 versus 3 in the second round.
I agree, but again, it's I'm just based on going. They've been number 1 all year. Now think about how tough this is, William. How tough is it to be ranked number 1 preseason and keep that number 1 ranking throughout the year. How tough is that? And they've done it with flying colors. 32-5,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they beat St. X twice.
I just think Scott County's playing baseball right now.
They
Big
are.
time.
We saw them in person, and they can hit the ball. They're top of their lineup through 1 through 9 is as good as anybody in the state.
I'm going. I'm going out the bottom. I'm going to say it's going to be. I think Scott County and PRP is going to be your quarterfinal there.
Really?
Yep.
I think the winner's going to come out of that.
Semifinal.
I think Scott County, Trinity, the winner of that one's going to come out of that bottom of the bracket. And I just think it's going to be Trinity just because.
I'm still going to stick with Scott County PRP semifinal.
Now I guarantee I'm going to get a whole bunch of text messages and emails from people over in Georgetown tonight. Guarantee it. But I mean, I just think I've seen Trinity play once this year. I've seen Scott County play 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Trinity's got a little more offensive capabilities with long balls. I know we saw Scott hit a couple of home runs the other night, 3 actually in the tournament, in the 11th region tournament. Boy, that's a tough one too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my mind again.
I guess time will tell.
I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go with Scott County just because of their depth of pitching. I don't know what kind of pitching Trinity's got depth wise.
I'm gonna stick with what I said.
I'm gonna go with Scott County.
I'm going Boyle, Scott County.
Wouldn't that be
11
good?
versus 12?
Wouldn't that be good to have?
Maybe it's because I'm from around here. Maybe I don't know.
Well,
I just like them both.
But we get to see a lot of teams, not just these area teams. But we get to see other teams as well doing what we do. Wouldn't it be nice to have all Central Kentucky finals in both softball and baseball?
It's possible. But in order for that to happen,
you got to play. You got to hit the ball.
Woodford and Boyle's got to beat each other in the winners bracket first.
Right, but then
one of them's got
to come out.
And then one of them's got to come out of the losers bracket, and you got to beat that team twice.
Right,
but if
they get to the finals,
it could be 2 finals. I guess is what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It would be nice because that's our predominant area we cover.
So you're saying Woodford goes undefeated in the winners bracket until they face Boyle County for a second time.
And I don't know.
They're going to play 3 times if that happens.
No, twice.
Is it just twice?
Well, twice.
Well, no, they could play 3 times.
They could play 3 times, right?
Yeah, they could play. So here's what happens: Woodford County beats Boyle in the winners bracket. The first game.
Theoretically, for all you Boyle County fans out there listening,
this is what we're saying.
Hypothetical.
We're talking softball here.
Yeah.
And then you get to the final game.
Mm-hmm.
Boyle County beats Woodford County in game 1 of the final.
And it's winner
then you go
all.
to the last final, and it's winner take all. Because they're 1-1 apiece each other.
I don't know Boyle's 1 through 9 batting order.
I mean, they got athletes on that team.
I know Woodford's and they're hitting the baseball. They're hitting the softball really well right now.
You know, Boyle beat Rockcastle County, which is probably the 12th region's best team.
A really solid 12th region team.
Yeah. And then you had East Jessamine in the mix too, which they weren't as loaded as they were last year, but they still were very coached well. And still had Bradley on the team and just really good.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen Boyle play, but I've seen Woodford play, and they've got a good mix of veterans and youngsters, and those youngsters are as athletic as any youngsters I've seen on any roster so far this year when it comes to softball.
Yeah,
and it's not because I'm living there. It's not because I grew up there. I'm doing this as a impartial observation.
All right.
And you know me, I'm pretty impartial when it comes to things like that. I just think, that this team has been through the ringer when you look at who they play on their schedule. And don't have, 5 losses through the year for Woodford?
Yeah.
And 2 of those were to Scott County?
Yeah. We got one more piece of news coming in here that there's a quarterback challenge going on. I told everybody I would put out there. Let's see here. Where did it go? Bluegrass quarterback challenge. Not all the top quarterbacks accepted this, but there is 12 players that accepted invitations to participate in the 2017 Bluegrass quarterback challenge, which is scheduled for Saturday, June 17th, and is led by former University of Louisville and NFL quarterback Stephen LaForce.
Mm-hmm.
And is sponsored.
And I assume it's going to take place at Cal.
Yeah. I don't know where it's going to be.
Well, that's where he's the head coach at. So
okay,
I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen there.
Well, see, here's the quarterbacks that have signed up to do this.
Okay.
All right, we got Jack Albers out of St. X.
Pretty good quarterback.
Nick Bond from Trinity. Willie Kane from Pulaski County. He's really good.
Who can throw the football.
Yep. Brandon Campos out of Valley.
I haven't seen him play.
Austin Carr from Christian Academy of Louisville.
He can throw it.
Cameron Cheshire, I think's how you say that, out of Male.
They can throw it around the yard.
Cole Belangi out of Christian County. Terrence May from Ballard. B.J. Robinson out of Pleasure Ridge Park. Matt Shearer out of Simon Kenton. Cameron Sizemore from Corbin. Heard a little bit about him. And then Drew Zuby out of South Oldham. But you don't see
I've seen Zuby play. I've seen the kid out of Corbin play.
What about the kid from Lexington Catholic? I don't see him. Bo Allen. He's not in there.
He's not on there. I haven't seen the kid that's gonna take over the reins at Casey County.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. It's gonna be a sophomore.
Yeah, you got ties with head coach over there, don't you?
Yep, at Casey County, Steve Stonebreaker.
Yep. Who's coaching Woodford this year?
Dennis Johnson still. Yeah, he's starting his third year, and
we need to get him on the show.
They are gonna be young.
Yeah, we need to get them on the show.
Last 2 years they've been hammered by graduation. I think 36 seniors the last 2 years. That's a lot of loss, but they have some talented youngsters coming up, but it's going to take a while to grow.
All right, don't want to switch angles too much longer. We gotta get off the air here, or else we might get in trouble by our significant others, man. But
speak for yourself.
All right,
that might be why I am still single. It's because I'm always out at all hours of the night doing ball games and stuff. But we do, that one game, that Bob Allen game, we do want to do those games over there, but just because it's going to be a couple of interesting matchups. Like I said, a young Woodford County team against Wayne County in the opener.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be Finesse with Woodford County versus Power of Wayne County.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the host Admirals of Danville over there under Clay Clevenger, who played at Danville and came back to be the head coach at his alma mater, against the very first ever football game for Frederick Douglass High School.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And you can only see it and hear the play-by-play right here on PrepSpin. Nowhere else.
As long as, we got to get it okay through the AD over there at Danville. We're still waiting on a call, but we do have the VisitNick.com Bowl is settled down, and then, of course, the Bluegrass Bowl.
Who are the matchups there?
West Jessamine, Walton, Verona.
Be a pretty decent game.
And East Jessamine is playing hold on, man. You put me on the spot. I'll have to let everybody know that.
But see,
we'll do that when football gets here.
That's the other thing we have to.
Well, yeah.
William's behind the camera most of the time, and behind the scenes most of the time doing the streaming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Gary and I are kind of breaking him in. You got to pull stuff out of the hat, just off the cuff, at weird times, and stuff. But we're gonna have a lot of football games, and we'll have some major soccer matchups through the year.
Oh yeah, we'll have lots of soccer on there.
I'll tell you, there's some good soccer played around this area, but for my money, that Woodford West Jasmine girls soccer matchup every year, it's one to see.
It's good.
It is a very good matchup. And they're usually, both teams are usually ranked in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just on the girls' side of things.
It used to be really, really good.
It used to be ugly.
It used to be really
very
good.
physical at times.
I think West Jessamine's kind of had them the last 3 or 4 years.
It's been a couple of years. I mean, but it's one of those that you'd want to go see. A lot of people may not know the rules of soccer, and it may be frustrating to a lot of sports fans out there. But that's a good matchup to see year in and year out.
Yeah, we need to get some soccer coaches on too, because nobody covers soccer like PrepSpin. I will tell you that. Nobody.
No. Well, nobody covers sports like we do. I mean, there are people that are at games and stuff, but they may go 1 week and then you won't see them for 2 more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But we are any good game anywhere, we are there.
Yep.
Period. I mean, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, softball, we are there. Now, we didn't cover the 11th region like we did, and I took some heat from some people that we didn't do some softball, and we apologize for that first and foremost, but we don't have enough staff at this point in time to cover it. But we are willing to spread a little thin to cover some good softball regional matchup.
Yeah, we had a couple games on softball wise, but
yeah, I took some heat because number 1 and number 2, and usually really number 1 versus number 5, which Woodford started out preseason.
Mm-hmm.
They were both in the top 5, and most of the season they were 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean we had some teams on, LCA, Lexington Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
We had them on because we got agreements with those schools.
Right. But we'll work on it. We're working on getting more staff. It's just it's not as easy as everybody thinks.
It's a slow process. We're growing.
Well,
we're growing and spreading thin a little bit.
Yeah. Plus you gotta be able to make things happen with those schools and things, and a lot of schools are coming on board here in the last year or so now.
Yep.
We're working on it though.
Well, again, we want to thank our guest that came on today, Coach Les Anderson of Woodford County. We want to wish him well during the state tournament that they leave out early in the morning. Want to thank Coach Kyle Wynn of Boyle County Baseball for coming on the show again tonight, and we wish him well.
Yep.
He's got a big game against Knox County Central tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I told
and his softball team has one for Boyle County at the same time down in Owensboro.
Yeah, I told Mercer County's got a big basketball event going on tomorrow night too, and it's the juniors all-stars taking on the seniors all-stars in the state.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much all the senior all-stars that are they're talking about seniors for the upcoming year.
Right.
They're all the Mercer County starting 5.
4 of the 5, because I know they had one girl on the starting 5 this year that's graduated.
Well,
they'll just plug in another.
Yeah, but they had a six. They had a 6 man. Her name was Emma Harris.
Not too shabby.
No,
and all 5.
So they're all
starting 5 have already committed
D1 schools
to play D1 schools, and Emma Harris has gotten offers with her performances
I think
in the postseason this year.
Let's just put it like this: if you guys want to find us in basketball season, I think
9 times out of 10 will be at Mercer.
Mercer, obviously you got LCA and Lexington Catholic going on too, but I think Mercer County's the team to watch this coming year for the girls basketball team and the boys. They might have Mr. and Mrs. I'm going to get Josh Hamlin on here. He's the new Mercer County head basketball coach for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
He was assistant coach with the girls, but now he's going to be boys head coach. We're going to have him live on the show. He's already promised to come on.
We'll have a lot of
and we'll talk about that, maybe next week or something. But excuse me.
This is the most talking you've done in a while.
Yeah, I'm not used to talking
He's usually
as much.
Pointing at Gary and me to get back on the air.
I'm texting all the time or something.
Answering tweets or whatever else.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, want to thank Bluegrass Orthopedics for being our BGO Studio sponsor here.
Man, we've got some of the finest sponsors that you can get out there, and they do not only do great work with their businesses and things, but they do a lot for kids.
Yeah, All Sports over in Fayette Mall too.
Ooh, we forgot about
them. We want
to don't
mention them. If you see it on the field
Trophy,
and you see it on the court, Crown Trophy's a commercial played earlier.
Yep.
Ryan Thompson over there for all your trophy needs. But yeah, it's been fun. Tonight, was just show
this
number
is me
1.
And William winging it.
Yeah, we were just talking about anything and everything, but we wanted to get those the baseball and softball stuff out of the way and just kind of throw that out there and
because it's on us tomorrow with baseball.
Yep.
And softball for that matter.
Yep.
So we want to get them on. Good luck to them.
Next show. We'll have some better graphics on here, I'm sure.
I watched the graphics. They weren't too bad on there.
Well, not bad, but it's basic. We like to go above and beyond.
How many people have the capability of doing what we're doing?
Well, not me.
We have podcasts that have one camera.
Yeah.
All the ones I've seen.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, we have capability of doing more than.
We've been on for about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours.
Well, that's what happens when you get broadcasters together. We just talk a lot.
That's cool, though. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. You can stay on as long as you want.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You get broadcasters on, we just talk about anything.
Yep.
We're a cheaper version of politicians, according to my my father. He just said, "You guys get up here and talk about anything, kind of like politicians." I said, "Well,
yeah,
you're right."
Well, we do want to wish again our guests the best of luck at the state tournaments. Yep. And Darrin, it's been fun, man. I think we're going to end on that note.
Well, it's been fun, and we hope everybody will join us. And if, as far as we know, it's going to be every Wednesday night, right?
Going to do it every Wednesday night.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Every Wednesday night. And
thank goodness I'm not so old I have to go to bed at 9.
All right, bro.
He's just looking at me like, oh, well. But yeah, you know what? And we'll say good luck tomorrow to UK, too, because we're in this area. The University of Kentucky baseball team. Yeah, they play Louisville.
Do they play tomorrow?
They play tomorrow at noon. I'm sorry, Friday at noon. But we'll say good luck to them. I mean, you know, it's a great thing. I was out there for that game on Monday night.
We hope your favorite team wins.
Yeah, we hope your team wins, right? Oh, somebody can't do that. Somebody else says that already.
Is that right?
Yeah, we need to come up with a new outgoing phrase. We'll figure it out.
All right. We'll try to work on that. But just, again, thanks everybody for tuning in, and thanks to all of our guests for being here tonight.
Real quickly, and I know these guys don't have any marketing money to use, but there's a group of guys that play this old vintage baseball. Have you been up to see it yet?
No.
Up at Waveland?
Mm-mm.
June the 18th at 1:30. It's a Sunday afternoon. They'll be playing a doubleheader at Waveland State Park called the Bluegrass Barons Vintage Baseball Club.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 11, they will be playing the Cincinnati Hall of Fame team, which is a version of the original baseball team of the Cincinnati Reds.
Mm-hmm.
They will be playing on Great American Ballpark Field, the old vintage style baseball, the way it was originally played when it was first created.
Okay.
So I have a couple of brothers on that, so I told them I would get that mention in.
Interesting.
And I don't call them by their real names. You got to call them by their nicknames. They have Pops, who's one of the managers of the team, but he also plays. But my brothers are called Gunner and Tugboat, and I'll let you know both of them. I'll let you figure out who's who.
I would say Kyle is Gunner.
You're right.
Tugboat is Ryan.
There you go.
All right.
And Ryan looks like a tugboat. But he's got the perfect build.
I think I saw him at the Legends game the other day.
They were there. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
they were there.
He came up to me and I didn't know who he was.
He looks different with that goatee, doesn't he?
You know, I didn't.
And that old style uniform.
That's the thing is hanging out with you and Gary. Every time I go out somewhere, people come up to me and they talk. They want to talk sports with me. And I try to always remember who's talking to me, but it's impossible now. It is impossible.
Well, the thing is, you know, you're a sports fan. You love sports. You know, like Ari and I do. But I think with the three of us now, you're starting to see you can't go out anywhere without somebody recognizing you and saying something to you. It may be negative at times.
See,
but
I mean,
you know, but people just recognizing you can't go out to dinner somewhere and not have somebody come over and say, "Hey, I like what you do."
Yeah,
or, "Hey, I'd like to see this on there."
I get that. It's not us being big headed here by any means.
No, it's just the fact that you got
it just happens.
Well, you got Gary and I both that have been in this thing a combined 60 years.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah, I started out in 2008 just as a hobby, and of course in 2013 we decided to make it into the business. But I've known you.
I joined you at 2010.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
We knew each other beforehand. We'd seen each other. We just didn't know each other, and then we become friends. And yes, like friends, we always argue at times.
I need to thank Lexington Diagnostic Center as well.
They're
brand new. They just came on last week.
Yeah, but I remember them on last week's regional broadcast and stuff. But man, I tell you, this was a great idea that you had back in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I met and came on with you at 2010. You actually got to meet Matt Calvert through that as well, my partner, who I will start my 31st year with in the fall. No, 33 years we've been together.
Wow.
As a broadcast crew in some shape, form, or fashion. And I started out as a sideline reporter. And I don't know how many.
That's what Coach Anderson was saying.
Yeah, I can't remember how many microphones we went through, and we tried everything. We even tried Mr. Microphone at one time. It didn't work. Then we got the upgrade with the wireless and stuff. But I don't know how many wireless microphones I've been through as a sideline reporter.
Yeah,
but
keep dropping them.
No, getting run over.
Really?
Just not moving fast enough on the sideline.
No.
Them big boys in them pads come quicker than you think.
I was going to say, we lost a couple cameras on the football field.
We almost lost one last year. Yeah. Or no, 2 years ago during the middle school state football playoffs. The wind kind of took it and almost took you with it.
Oh yeah, when it fell on the stands.
Station,
right. Yeah, and then here's my luck with cameras too. The second time it's happened to me, we do the Lexington Legends home games, as I mentioned to. First time it happened to me, no home runs.
Oh.
First time it happened to me was in Grand Junction, Colorado at the JUCO World Series. Some guy hits a grand slam.
It hits the camera.
Tears the lens off the camera.
Wow.
That camera still works, by the way. That camera does still work.
That's a toughie.
Here's the other thing. Just last week, Fireflies are in town. Tim Tebow's team. And we're not I can't talk. Not sure who hit it. But somebody in batting practice, right after we set the center field camera up,
hit the camera.
It's a home run during batting practice. I guess you call it a home run. I mean, it's over the fence. Anyway, and he hits our camera. Tebow was in the batting area at the time. So Tebow may have been the one that hit that camera. May have been. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Because when we went back out to check on the camera, because we couldn't control it from the booth, we go back out there and check it out.
Knock the wire out.
And one of the Fireflies players, as we're walking up, out in center field on the crush zone where we keep our camera, one of the players said, "Hey, you may want to check the camera. It's been hit by one of those balls that were hit out the ballpark." We're talking about straightaway center field, man. That's a pull.
Well, I tell you, I've got some friends of mine, not friends, but acquaintances that we've made from some of these high school or these middle schools that we've covered, you and I, the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And I've gotten some emails over the years, and I texted out today or sent out today that we were going to be doing a broadcast of a sports talk show. And immediately, I get 3 emails back from Belfry fans. And they want us to come up there so bad. And I just got one. I was looking down, I got another one. And I only know it because it says B Pirate. The only other B Pirate I know are the Berea Pirates. But we haven't covered anything Berea but that one summer tournament we did, you and I.
Yeah. But
Belfry, we're coming. I promise you. It may take us another year or two to get there, but we'll get there.
One day soon. All right. Well, let's end this show on that note. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to our guest coaches tonight, and hope to see you guys again here next week as we bring you more talking sports here on PrepSpin.